Time travel's hard enough when you're just paying attention to one direction. When you start thinking about what you did in the past and how you might have to change it in the future, it just gets infinitely more complicated.
Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing
Episode 10 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Past Life. The team has one final chance to return to the timeline. But there are some deadly consequences. So yeah, we've been talking about time travel and all the little paradox stuff going along with it. But we've also been talking about what it means to be a hero. Do you actually have to save everyone, or do you just go about your business? And at the end of the day, if you're willing to sell out some to get others' safety, are you a hero? And what do you do when you run in smack dab into your own problems of your own self? All of this is more as we talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But before we go too far down that rabbit hole, what I do here is I review stories. I come up with theories of storytelling and then come up with other ideas and just try to get to the heart of how and why we tell stories. If that sounds interesting to you? Click the subscribe button. I've got about 91 subscribers right now. When I hit 100, I'm giving away a free Amazon gift card. But for right now, we're talking about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the heroes that got lost through time, and how they get home. We already know they have a prophetic person on their side, or at least they did until she died. But at the end of last week's episode, we were told Caius has one too. Somehow he has someone that can see the future, and that's where we're picking up.
So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time.
Okay, you know what? On second thought, Caius has lost his damn mind. I mean, he's always been unhinged, but he starts this episode off by telling a doctor to heal the dead, and when the doctor's like, yeah, I'm sorry, see, we can bring humans back because they're simple, he's like, no, then study it more closely. Bang, and shoots him dead. I guess this means that he really did have feelings for her. I guess that, he really is losing it because she's gone. Meanwhile, the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. have snuck on the base because he wasn't able to pick up any life signs. Because if you remember correctly, Enoch's plastic, not a real boy. Well, he's a real alien. Alright, either way, they're still working on Robin's prophecy. The idea that they can get home by using the monolith. But they only have one small piece of it. And they need the new gut kid that can manipulate rocks to be able to use it to put it back together. Which, of course, is something he's never done, because pretty much everything with his powers is something he's never done. But they believe in it because Robin saw it. But maybe Robin only saw it because they believe in it. Yeah. Lots of problems with that. Time Travel 101 says that just because something was prophesized, it should happen. But if you remember on Lost, the idea that someone could create a prophecy because he believed the prophecy, even though it hadn't come through yet, became the problem with Locke. Locke, in that series, had actually gone back in time and told other people that he was important because those people told him he was important, which is one big loop of the chicken and the egg. Neither one ever created the other, just poof, ba-boop, ba-boop around. And that's something we're trying to avoid here on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But this is when shit gets real crazy, real quick. Because you see, it's not really a seer that Caius has, it's Yo-Yo. He had her dead body, and he brought her back from the dead using the Kree blood. And I can't even count how many ways that this is a bad idea time travel-wise. Same person from two different time periods, alive at the same time, interacting with themselves. Think about that for a second. I mean, way back when Demolition Man had... No, not Demolition Man, it was, Time Cop. Time Cop had the same matter can exist in the same place at the same time. Well, all I'm going to tell you is that information loop is insane. The idea of I'm telling me something that I only know because I already remember me telling me just as boom, head explode types of crazy. But if you remember back in the Out of Order episode, we already knew that she went up to fight Cassius at one point. So that had to come back to bite you. And remember, that's when she told us that Mac wasn't coming back because Mac was gone. So all the way since the beginning of this, all the way since this guy here grabbed them, we knew that they'd go back in time. Well, we thought it was space at first, but once we knew it was time travel, we knew they'd go back in time. We knew that most of them were going to make it back because, well, it's a TV show and that's what happens. But what about Mac? Is it possible he doesn't make it back? It's very possible he doesn't make it back, especially with the fact that he just offered, hey, why don't you come back with us to the kid? You'll always have a place with me and Yo-Yo. And let's not forget, we still need to figure out if Quake here is capable of ripping apart the Earth, which dovetails perfectly back into the whole crazy time travel bit. Alright, so they need someone to go hold the Zephyr and the device. And of course, Daisy wants to say, hey, it's going to be me, right? But it can't be her, because it can't be any of the time travelers. So our new favorite change coat has to do it. And he gives this great speech about what a pain she is and the fact that he's going to go die for something that his parents died for. But that's when the paradox really starts to kick in. Because remember, everyone keeps saying they're stuck in the loop. Well, this Yo-Yo remembers all of this. The Yo-Yo that's been brought back remembers telling or being told by the Yo-Yo that was brought back in her time period all of this. And the more she says, the more she feels like, hey, wait, this is the same thing I was told, and it didn't work. And she says you can't save him. Well, then Yo-Yo asks, who can't we save? And of course the answer everyone's expecting, or at least I was Mac. But no, the answer is Phil Coulson. He's dying. Meanwhile, Coulson stunner bolts Quake to make her come back in time with them. And boom, we're still in the cycle. But this time, hopefully, there's something that can be different. And of course, it's a TV show, so it has to be. But again, I would like to bring up that as long as these loops are going, the world, for all intents and purposes, is screwed anyway. But before we get sidetracked into all this time travel BS again, let's also talk about some cool moments. There were some Kree hunting down the new Inhuman Mac and our Fitzsimmons couple. And Fitz rings up this rope and then says, no, don't shoot him. And then pushes a button and just zip lines their heads right off, just right through. And Gemma's like, that's your escape plan? And he's like, yeah, we can't fight all of them, so we want them to be scared to follow us. And that's like a creepy Batman level of, like, dark stuff. Like, I don't even know. And not something I expect from good old Fitz. But then again, Gemma's the one that came up with the idea of having the kid, Flint, rock through the entire superstructure with those stones from outside. So all in all, there's plenty of darkness to go around. But Mac then learns that Yo-Yo's not with them, and the main group finds out that Yo-Yo isn't with Mac. So of course Mac goes off to rescue the woman he loves. Makes sense, right? But the Yo-Yo that Mac finds isn't our Yo-Yo, it's the Yo-Yo from farther in the loop. One that's already had her arms cut off, one that's already been tortured. And at the same time, already knows what's about to happen. But he kills that future Yo-Yo in front of Mac, driving Mac nuts, and then he drinks the super PCP thing that he gave the other guy earlier in the episode. And they said that it burns you out and kills you, but allows you to go down fighting. So Caius, at this point, has pretty much just given up the ghost. He's gonna just go for the all. But the time paradox is continuing, and we're still in the loop. And Coulson's dying of some sort of infection and who knows what else. But the battle with Cassius isn't anywhere near as horrible as I thought it was going to be. I mean, yeah, he's kind of psychopathic and kind of completely lost his mind. But in the end, Gemma comes in and silences him. It was so poetically perfect. And Mac, Yo-Yo get their reunition where she just doesn't fully explain at the moment, but she just is like, yeah, that wasn't me, I'm sorry you had to see that. And that was a beautiful reunion. And then they're running. And of course, you know, it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and a TV show, so we gotta play everything to the last second, even though we were told they're all gonna make it home. So, we have a few final sacrifices, both Enoch and, well, you know what? Pretty much everyone at this point is just one huge sacrifice for the hope. And I love that Phil Coulson says that. I have to have hope. Because at the end of the day, that's what they're all working on. Let everyone die in the future on the hope that they can make it so this future never has to come to pass. But then we get one last shot of hope as they talk about Flint being able to put the Earth back together again. Now, they left it on a bit of a cliffhanger, honestly. Did they make it in time or not? But then they went and ruined it with the coming attractions. In 4 weeks, we're going to see where this picks up. So in 4 weeks, I'll be back to talk about this. But before I go, I would like to just say that overall, their time travel was pretty good so far, and I really liked it. But someone left me a comment last week, and I want to put it up here. Blind Man SG-1, I too was a big Trek fan, and I loved SG-1. I hear they're redoing it. But there is a total awesome moment in one of their time travel episodes that is just so hysterical. They spend all this time harping on the fact that one of the characters likes to fish in a place that has no fish. Like he just goes there to relax. And the end of the episode, when they have this whole big time travel thing and they have to worry about whether or not they set things right or not, they all end up fishing with him there just to go relax and drink some beer. And a fish jumps out of the water and they're like, wait, I thought... And he's like, close enough. And you know what? At the end of the day, that's how I feel about time travel. It's good if it's, close enough. It was fun. Thanks for the comment, and thanks for helping me walk through this. For now, I'd like to hear your guys' thought on where the season has gone so far and where you expect things to go. I think that woman that shot her team members are going to be a big part. I don't know who was in the mask yet, but let me know what you think. And then, of course, leave me a thumbs up and share this video so that I can help grow this base. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button, because I'm trying to build a community here. One where we can dissect what it means to be a story, how we tell stories, and maybe just have a lot of fun watching things like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Gifted and stuff like that. If you're into that, come on, join us. Right now I've got about 91 subscribers. When I hit 100, I'm giving away an Amazon gift card. And then, you know, if you have like 900 more friends, I'd love to hit 1,000 so I can monetize again. But for now, I hope you have a good night, and thank you for walking with me through the heart of the stories we tell.